Well, developing at this hour, Columbus police are investigating what is believed to be a rug that was discovered buried in a backyard on the home.
Building a fence, and we, through digging a post hole, came across a carpet, and it was weird, but I kind of let it go.
This is gaining major attention after a series of videos went viral on TikTok. Right now, police are continuing their investigation into what could be covered by that rug.
What if I told you that after the investigation was completed, with no evidence of a dead body being shown, she continued to keep lying to her audience, pushing the narrative that there is a body hidden in the rug? There's so much more to this story. So please, join me in this little adventure in exposing Katie Santry. Katie Santry is a TikTok influencer that created content consisting of, in her words, the woman's experiences that are taboo to discuss. She moved into this house around a year ago, but now things are starting to get a little freaky. This all started on September 29th. Katie is starting to have suspicions that her house is haunted. Why, you may ask? She notices that in her workspace, things are out of place, her desk is a mess, and her computer screen is cracked.
I think my house is haunted and I'm freaking out. Like, I'm literally shaking. This is my sunroom. This is where I work. I sit here every day. There's a playroom here, doors here. This is the space. I worked in here last night until about 6:30. Everything was fine. Shut my laptop. We close these doors so the dogs don't come in here at night. No one is in this room. I'm down this morning to work. The screen shattered. This stuff down here. This hanging off. But the fucking kicker for me is that that only goes on this shelf and only goes on this shelf ever up here. Why? I've never put it there. I don't put it here. My phone sits there when I work. Why was that there?
So for that reason, she starts thinking that her house is haunted, but to make matters crazier, she notices something way out of the ordinary.
Here's the next bit of important information. So we're building a fence, and back here, we dug a hole. There is a rolled up carpet buried underground that we came across as we were digging this hole. Rolled up carpet. Who the fuck and why the fuck is there a rolled up carpet underground?
And this rug was rolled up deep underground. It was probably around 2 to 2.5 feet. So because of what had just happened to her computer, she's super convinced that something is not right. And the people in the comments are hooked. People are saying how maybe the spirit f***ed her shit up in her room because they're trying to lead her to something bigger. Me? I call bullshit. This is the start of a whole series that she had on TikTok called What's in the Rug? Sounds like a fucking game show. So after this investigation and more digging, they found more evidence that her house is haunted. And coincidentally, there was a tree planted on top of the rug that was called a blood good tree. So she's already set off by everything that happened before, but the tree sets her off even more. But then she remembers something that happened between her and her stepson.
This morning, my stepson, I heard him call his dad in and say, hey, like, this is so weird. When I went to bed, my phone was at 100% on the charger, and he woke up and it was at 3%.
She starts saying that maybe it was a ghost that stole the energy from the phone. And now after all this happened in just one day, she's fully convinced that there is a dead body in the rug. So she blew up. She went from having 6,000 followers to now thousands to 100,000s to even millions. After getting all these followers, the followers start to suggest that she should call the police, which she finally does.
Okay, I finally did it. I called the police. They're sending someone here. I called and I said, hey, I don't know if this matters, but there is a rug buried underground at my house. And a few people I know, you guys, and actually 2 police officers who I know who are not actually in this county, but other counties, have suggested I call you. And she told me she's going to send a police officer over here.
According to Katie, once the police arrived, they agreed how suspicious the rug was. But ultimately, they tell her that they can't do anything about it because they don't have enough evidence to bring an excavator and dig that shit out. And if Katie wants to find anything else about this rug, then she's going to have to be the one to dig it out. This is where the red flags for Katie are starting to raise for me. Look at how excited she is at the fact that there's potentially a dead body in the rug.
I was like, oh my God, they're going to call homicide? This is fucking nuts. I'm going to be in my own episode of True Crime. R.I.P. Truly. R.I.P. But holy shit, would that not be kind of cool?
To me personally, this is where her intentions start to become more clear. And as the series progresses, they become even clearer. But I'll get to that soon. So now everyone in the comment section is invested. They want to see what's inside this fucking rug. And people keep pestering her for her to dig. At the end of the day, this is where she suggests the theory that the cops might be trying to search up cold cases to see if anything happened around her house. So she's still going on about how her house is haunted, and she says that she needs a psychic because apparently more interesting information was found. Apparently apparently one of the police officers who responded to Katie actually went to their neighbor's house to respond to a death. And since that day, her neighbor's house has been completely empty. So Katie is saying that since there's no one else that their dead neighbor can haunt, the spirit went on to move to Katie.
My neighbor died in their house, and she can't haunt a house that is literally destroyed, right? Like, who the fuck is she gonna haunt? That's no fun. That would be boring. Why not haunt the next door neighbor? The same day that my computer gets broken and my desk gets strewn about, they started boarding up the dead lady's house. It feels sus. It feels like, hey, if they're gonna board up my house, I'm just gonna hop over to the next house and haunt them and fuck their day up. And they also just started digging up a rug. So like, this will be so fun. If I was a ghost and I was a dead lady who had no family, because the cop told me she also had no family, so she has no one better to haunt. If I was her, I would haunt me. That would be fun.
Katie, girl, what the fuck are you doing? I feel like this is really insensitive to the person who just died. Why can't we just let the poor person rest? Especially if they literally didn't do anything wrong. Imagine you die and this shit happens to you. People start blaming you and associating you to this rug mystery. And it's obvious to me now that she wants to get famous off of this. Look at her mentioning again about people putting her in a true crime episode.
I am, however, ready and prepared to take on the task if there is potentially a dead body and I get to be in a living episode of true crime.
Then she continues to push this dead body theory in the rug, and she keeps on complaining about the entire process. But girl, the only reason your yard keeps on getting fucked up is because you keep on going on with this and going to the next step each time. She's starting to do research on her home. She finds that only one family has owned the house before her, and the people who owned it seem to be normal according to Katie. So then the realtor says that she is best friends with the family's daughter that previously owned the home, and Katie says that if the girl gives her the information of why the rug is there, then that's it. The case is closed. Now the daughter of the family is involved. The daughter told them that she has no idea why the rug is buried. And I don't know how this happened, but the daughter agrees to involve her 90-year-old mother and 95-year-old father who are in an elderly home about this. Since they're old and probably could give less of a fuck about the situation or even remembering it, Katie didn't get the answer she was looking for. So she started digging. This digging is happening, the news is involved now, but before the digging started, she got a phone call from the police.
I just got off the phone with homicide. They just called me. They are sending detectives and cadaver dogs here in the next hour. Oh my God.
This is huge, right? This will really determine whether or not there's a body there. If the dogs signal that there's a body where the hole is, that means she's gonna continue with the excavation. When they finally arrived, the cadaver dog sat down in the hole, signaling that there are human remains in the hole. Word is spread. Now everyone is invested in this rug. Finally, the moment that so many people were waiting for. This is a highly anticipated moment. People were tuning in all over the world, seeing what was about to be shown. The rug has been buried for whoever knows how long is now finally being uncovered. The excavator comes, they dig out the rug, and you won't believe what they find.
Hello everybody, Steve Levine here with ABC6. I've just heard from Columbus Police. They tell me after officers were back here investigating since last night, they brought in an excavator and they have determined that nothing has been found. No bones, no human remains, anything of that sort.
And that should really bring the end to the story. It was all a big misunderstanding. There was no body, no remains, nothing. But why is she continuing to go with this?
When it comes to the rug, I don't think that they've really found much on the rug.
Nothing has been found. No bones, no human remains.
When I think back to prior to the day that my computer was shattered and my desk was turned about, there are actually some weird things that were happening that I was kind of just chalking up to like nothing. Like the fact that sometimes that room or the space going into that room will have a weird smell.
Nothing has been found. No bones, no human remains.
And there's the fact that sometimes when I'm working, I hear scratching under my feet, which I know sounds so strange, and I honestly have always chalked it up to being an animal.
Nothing has been found.
She somehow has convinced an entire audience that there's something wrong with her house. And I just feel like she can't accept the fact that she's living a normal, unparanormal life like everyone else. The only piece of evidence that she has ever shown us of her house being paranormal is this. And after reviewing the clip, how old are you? Like getting spooked by a little thud at night? Personally, I'm a crazy sleeper. I hit my hand against the wall all the time. I feel like there's so many ways to explain where this thud came from. Anyways, Katie, like I was saying, it's okay to be normal. I'm normal. People who are watching this are normal? Foot fetishes are normal? But I guess not. Because now she's really concerned with why the dogs marked that spot in the first place. And I am no expert, and I am not qualified to answer this in any way possible, but in my opinion, I feel like those dogs were just probably confused. There was probably so many people investigating the hole before the dogs got there, and their schnauzers were just overwhelmed by everything. But then again, I'm not a cadaver dog, I'm not a detective, I wouldn't be able to tell you what happened. And as of recently, she was investigating this broken tile that was inside of her office. This hole exposes it underneath of her floor, and you know what she finds?
I'm gonna put the phone in there with the flashlight on, and then I will watch the video. I'm scared.
More carpet, more rug, whatever the fuck you want to call it. What I really don't think is cool though is how she's trying to act like a detective now and is trying to profit off of this. So what happened is that she got a cold case and she tried to relate it to what was currently happening to her.
It has been a busy day because I have been doing my research. I'm trying to get down to the nitty gritty, get down to the facts, and you sleuthy little girlies have tagged me a lot in this Travell Henley case. And so I've been doing my research, and here are my thoughts. Travell Henley went missing in 1999. And that is important because apparently that is the same exact year that this sunroom deck area was built.
And she even says in the video how she doesn't think it's him. Me either, Katie, because the results on the rug were already found out. She made this video on the 9th when nothing was found on the 4th. So what's the point of the video, Katie? More attention? And look, she's even commenting and replying to people, basically leading them on. Let me remind you that the news announced that there was no blood found on the rug.
No human remains.
So why are you continuing to spread misinformation to your followers? And what I mean by profiting, she literally made merch because of this. And look at the designs. Mom stuff and murder. Sounds like a shit. And she very clearly is trying to make herself an internet personality.
4 in the morning. Good God, dressed in the dark.
Like, you're seriously gonna tell me that you hit record and didn't notice? No, you did that shit on purpose. And this is where the rabbit hole starts to get a little deeper. And allegedly, people are saying that she bought followers. Look at this screenshot. And I can admit, it is weird that her followers went up exactly by those numbers. As for who broke your computer, I think I have an idea. I honestly think that someone in your home caused this, but she already addressed this claim saying that
there's a lot of people saying like, oh, it was one of the kids. Impossible. My son was out of town and the 2 big kids went to bed after we did. They have their own computers. They don't need to go play with mine. Wasn't one of the kids. And I still think it's either you who caused it or your kids who caused it. I didn't notice this before, but if you look on the screen, there's a point of contact. Someone fucking broke it. And your ghost is so strong to break this screen, but all we have of your ghost is this sorry ass stud that it created. And remember the psychic that she talked about getting? She finally got one. And guess how the psychic read her? Through TikTok Live. I'm not gonna even talk about it, honestly. Like, I have no other words to say. And it is October, and I guess it is spooky season, which I believe why people are really feeding into this idea. People want to be scared during this month. That's the whole point of October. And I guess people want it so bad that they're willing to forget and ignore all the potential questions that they should ask. But like this picture of the Gucci backpack, just let it go, Katie. Thank you so much for watching. It's crazy the amount of subscribers, the amount of likes I've been getting. It's like honestly unbelievable, and I have no one to thank but you guys, honestly. And by the way, I have seen the comments. I'm working on a Tofia Chu video, so please just give me a little time with that. There's so much to uncover with her. It's crazy. But again, thank you so much for everything. Like, honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, I can't even articulate words. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe what you want to see next. And as always, peace. Watch me get possessed after this shit. Oh my.